Chapter 85. Coming out of the Wuge branch, Yu Ling stared at Yi Tian with a pair of beautiful eyes. Yi Tian, you are a big tyrant now. 325 billion? Even I want to rob you. Then you have to improve your strength. You can't rob me now. Yi Tian joked. Okay, you dare to tease me now. Yu Ling pretended to be angry. Both of them just laughed and played for a while, then prepared to go their separate ways. Before leaving, Yu Ling reminded, Yi Tian, you have money now. There is an auction held by the Martial Pavilion in 10 days. I think it is necessary for you to participate in it, because there are many things in it that you need. After all, you haven't joined any forces, and many things can only be purchased by yourself. Yu Ling, can you reveal what good things there are? Yi Tian was curious. He does have money now, but many good things aren't traded in the open. For example, the storage bag. He also asked casually in the Wu Pavilion just now, but the result was that he couldn't buy it. Advanced Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique. Yu Ling said, will this really be auctioned? Yi Tian was full of interest. He has been coming to the Demon Sea base for a short time, and naturally he had already inquired about the news of the Advanced Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique, but this thing is the core secret of the major forces, and they will not trade it at all. Unless he joins a certain big force and declares his allegiance, he will not be able to obtain the high-level Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique. He only has the intermediate Yuan Force Forging Body method now, or Yu Ling gave it to him. The intermediate Yuan Force Forging Body method has a very good effect, but once he reaches the Grand Master realm, the effect of the intermediate Yuan Force Forging Body method is minimal, and there is no amplification effect. If you want to continue cultivating, you can only rely on the blood of top-level fierce beasts. There is a huge difference between a Grandmaster who has a high-level Yuanli forging secret technique and a Grandmaster who does not have a high-level Yuanli forging secret technique. Yi Tian originally thought that after reaching the Grandmaster realm, he would seek a high-level Yuan Force forging body secret technique, but now it seems that he has a chance. Yu Ling, I'm definitely going. Yi Tian affirmed. Okay, I'll get you an invitation to the auction in the next 2 days, and you can go directly when the time comes. Yu Ling arranged. Thank you. Yi Tian sincerely thanked him. If he went to get the invitation by himself, it would probably take a lot of time. Immediately, the two separated. Back home, it was evening. Yi Yu had already returned from the martial arts school, and when he saw Yi Tian coming back, he immediately jumped up excitedly. Brother, you're finally back. Yi Yu trotted over, but soon, she was attracted to Xiao Zi. Wow, what a beautiful little mouse. Brother, is this a little gift you sold me? Yi Yu's eyes were full of little stars. Don't blame her. It's really Xiao Zi who is too cute, especially the little golden fur in the center of her eyebrows makes Xiao Zi's temperament rise several levels in an instant. Well, it's a little gift for you. Yi Tian nodded. When Yi Tian handed Xiao Zi to Yi Yu, Xiao Zi was stunned. What's the situation? Who is this woman? Isn't it the owner's cute pet? How did it become this woman's? Master, did you sell me? Xiao Zi asked aggrievedly in Yi Tian's mind. It's not for sale. It's just that I'm usually very busy and don't have time to take you. This is my sister Yi Yu. If you follow her in the future, I think she likes you very much, and she will definitely not treat you badly. Yi Tian explained. It's good if it's not sold. Xiao Zi listens to the master. Xiao Zi said obediently. With Xiao Zi in the family, Xiao Jin's status plummeted in an instant. Originally, Yi Yu often played with Xiao Jin, but now that Xiao Zi has arrived, Xiao Jin was almost abandoned. Of course, Yi Yu also cultivates often, so he can't accompany Xiao Zi and Xiao Jin, but the two pets are one piece. Xiao Zi. My name is Xiao Zi, big man. What's your name? Xiao Jin. My name is Xiao Jin, and I am the name given by the owner. Xiao Zi. Big man, what are your skills? Xiao Jin. I'm fast, and I'm very strong. Xiao Zi. It seems that your ability isn't very good. Do you know my ability? I have a talent for treasure hunting, and no treasure can escape my eyes. If you are my little brother, I will take you to find a lot of treasures in the future. Xiao Jin. Hello big brother. Xiao Zi. I'm a mother, call me eldest sister. Xiao Jin. Yes, big sister. After a few words, Xiao Jin was accepted as a little brother by Xiao Zi. Then Xiao Zi did not walk by herself, but sat on Xiao Jin's huge body, and actually used Xiao Jin as a mount. When Yu Tian saw it, he really laughed for several days. Seeing that Xiao Jin, Xiao Zi, and Yi Yu were all playing relatively well, Yu Tian didn't care much. On the fourth day of the return, Yu Ling sent someone to send an invitation, which was an invitation to participate in the auction. Putting away the auction invitation, Yu Tian was about to cultivate, when he suddenly remembered that the cool-down time for his copying talent was over. Copy Xiao Zi's treasure hunting talent first. Yu Tian decided, this talent is really awesome, and I'm sorry if I don't copy it. Copy. Fusion. The high-level treasure hunting talent did not make Yu Tian suffer too much pain, but he was just a little hot all over his body and shed some sweat. 10 minutes passed, and the fusion was over. Open black lens bracket treasure hunt talent. Advanced close black lens bracket. Looking at this line of talent, Yu Tian was very satisfied, and immediately began to test the power of the high-level treasure hunting talent. 100-year-old ginseng, 1,000-year-old polygonum multiflorum, and a vitality stone. Yu Tian put these three things on the table, and immediately started the treasure hunting talent. Then, the unthinkable happened. Wow! 3 rays of light emanated from the 3 treasures. The light emitted by the 100-year-old ginseng was pale white light, the light emitted by the 1,000-year-old polygonum multiflorum was a rich white light, and the light presented by the Yuanqi stone was a pale red light. Then, Yu Tian took out a lot of treasures and looked at them one by one with his treasure hunting talent. Eventually, he came to a conclusion. The color of the light is related to the level of the treasure, and the treasure can be divided into several levels from low to high, white, red, and yellow. These are the 3 levels of light from low to high. Most of Yu Tian's treasures emitted white light, and there were relatively few red ones, while those that emitted yellow light were heavenly and earthly treasures such as heavenly soul flowers. As for what is above the yellow light, Yu Tian is not clear. At the same time, Yu Tian also tested the range of the treasure hunting talent, and the results showed that it was a 10-mile range. As long as it is within 10 miles, he can sense the existence of the treasure and preliminarily judge the level of the treasure. To this end, he used his treasure hunting talent to see the light of the dense treasures in his vicinity within 10 miles. It's a pity that these treasures belong to the owner, and he can't get them. And among these treasures, the most precious is only the yellow light. There's still a chance to copy an extraordinary level cultivation talent. Yu Tian planned to say. As far as he knew, the highest talent in the Demon Sea Great Base was the transcendental level cultivation talent, and he couldn't copy the higher level cultivation talent, so he could only fuse a few transcendental level cultivation talents and try to fuse them into higher level talents. That's a way to do it, too. Let's take a look near the Yun family first. Yu Tian went out lightly. Chapter 86. The Yun family occupies a large area, with a radius of several miles, and there are countless high-rise buildings in it, like a small kingdom. Moreover, the population of the Yun family is also large. There are almost 100,000 people in the main vein, plus the major collateral lines, which is the foundation of the first family of the Demon Sea base. Yu Tian came to walk around Yun's house, and he also had the intention of copying the transcendental level cultivation talent. His copying talent can cover a range of 500 meters. As long as Yun Tian appears within 500 meters, he can unknowingly copy the opponent's transcendental level cultivation talent. But Yu Tian was soon disappointed. He didn't want to check the traces of Yun Tian, and he didn't even see the other transcendental level talents of the Yun family. Obviously, they were all in the depths of the Yun family. Unless he entered the Yun family, or waited for these martial artists with transcendental level cultivation talents to come out, it would be difficult for him to copy them. Giving up on the Yun family, Yu Tian immediately went to look for other transcendental level cultivation talents, but they all failed. Obviously, even with a coverage range of 500 meters, there is no way to replicate it if you can't find anyone. The auction will be held in a few days, and you should encounter a transcendental level cultivation talent by then. Yu Tian could only pin his hopes on this auction. It didn't take long for the day the auction began. The scale of the auction held by Wu Zhe this time was not very large. It was a regular auction that would be held in a month or two. But it was also held at the headquarters of Wu Zhe, and many people came to participate. Early in the morning, Yu Tian went out and rushed to the Wu Zhe headquarters. It's majestic. Yu Tian, seeing the 100-meter high Martial Pavilion headquarters, couldn't help but sigh. The headquarters of the Marshall Pavilion has a lot of manpower, and the guards are almost all great warriors, and there are also grandmasters in charge. This is only the outside, and the manpower arranged inside is probably more powerful, and maybe there is a king-level commander. The Wu Pavilion is organized by the three major families, and the Yu family is only one of the weaker families among them. The Wu Pavilion also has a king-level worship, so it is very normal to have a king-level seat. Here in the Marshall Pavilion headquarters, even the king level did not dare to go wild. Yi Tian walked into the Wuj headquarters, took out the invitation, and immediately went to the 5th floor of the Wuj under the leadership of a female employee. The auction opened on the 5th floor of the Wu Pavilion. Entering the auction, Yi Tian came to his seat according to the invitation. The auction venue is different from what Yi Tian imagined. There are no private rooms here. Everyone is sitting in a huge venue. The only good thing is that the distance between the seats is relatively far, and it does not seem crowded. The whole auction can probably accommodate about 1,000 people, but it is not necessary to have so many people come to the auction. Copy the talent. Yi Tian's mind moved, and the copying talent enveloped the entire auction hall. Soon, everyone's talent situation emerged one by one. The talent is very high, Yi Tian said darkly. The martial artists who can come to participate in the auction are not small people, so it is impossible for their talents to be bad. The worst ones are also high-level cultivation talents, and there are many top-level cultivation talents. As for the transcendental level cultivation talent, Yi Tian hadn't seen it yet. Expand. The scope of the copying talent continued to expand, and soon enveloped the entire Marshall Pavilion headquarters. Found it. Yi Tian was pleasantly surprised. On the 15th layer of the Marshall Pavilion, that is, the highest level, a talent situation appeared in Yi Tian's eyes. Human, Chong Yuan, cultivation talent, transcendental, gravity talent, elementary. The other party is an extraordinary level cultivation talent, and it is estimated that he is a king-level powerhouse. The surname is Chong, not the warriors of the three major families of the Marshall Pavilion. It should be a category of worship. Yi Tian guessed. Without further ado, copy. But he didn't choose to fuse. This is the auction venue, and if he fuses his talent, his body will be abnormal, so naturally he can't fuse here. He can only wait until he goes home and fuses again. After about half an hour of waiting, the auction began. At first, the things auctioned were not very precious, but they were very good for great martial artists, such as some treasures that could assist in cultivation, which could increase the cultivation speed by 2 or even 3 times. Unfortunately, the time was limited, and it would last a month at most. But even in such a short period of time, its auction price is often 1 or 2 billion. Yi Tian didn't know how many treasures there were, so he naturally didn't care about these ordinary things. His goal was the high-level Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique. However, the auction of the high-level body forging secret technique had not yet begun, and an auction item that interested Yi Tian appeared. The next auction is a king-level cultivation experience, which is from the Hurricane King who fell in the Beast Tide 40 years ago, with a starting price of 5 billion. The auctioneer introduced. Hurricane King. This name is very resounding. Although it has been 40 years, the story of the Hurricane King is widely spread, and they are no strangers. A king-level cultivation experience is indeed very valuable, but there are not many people who really want to buy it. Cultivation relies on talent and resources, but how useful can the so-called cultivation experience be? Perhaps for cultivating Xiaobai, this experience can be of great help, but the people present are either the high-level leaders of the major chaebols, or the core disciples or elders of the major families. They could completely look through the scripture pavilions of their respective forces, and it was not difficult to understand the secrets of various cultivations, and there was no need to spend that unjust amount of money to buy king-level cultivation experiences. Others weren't too interested, but Yi Tian was interested. He has always been cultivating and groping alone, and even has a very vague understanding of the realm after the Grand Master, and this experience is of great use to him. 5.5 billion. Yi Tian raised his cards to bid. 6 billion, 7 billion, 8 billion. The competition was not very fierce, and as for the few people who bid for it, in the end, Yi Tiankai was very wealthy, and he bid for this cultivation experience at a price of 11 billion. At this time, many people looked at Yi Tian with a look at the loser, thinking that Yi Tianhua was not worth it. 10 billion. It's not cabbage, it's real money. The heavenly soul flower that can improve talent is only 10 billion. Of course, the heavenly soul flower did only have this price, but no one took it out to sell it. The auction continues. Good things have been auctioned off one after another, and there has also been a treasure that can improve talent, but it is not to improve cultivation talent, but to improve fire-type talent, called Qian Lingzi. This red flame Lingzi only has an effect on primary flame talents, and it does not guarantee a 100% increase in talents, so the price is not very expensive, only 12 billion. There are a lot of good things, and you can't buy them outside, and you can only see them here. Yi Tian said darkly. After a long wait, Yi Tian's most longed-for high-level Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique appeared. A high-level Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique from the Super Base, Zhanghai Base, Purple Blood Body Forging Technique. You don't have to worry about its origin. Our Martial Pavilion can guarantee that there is absolutely no problem. The starting price is 30 billion. The auctioneer spoke. Chapter 87. It's only 30 billion, so cheap? A high-level Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique can create a big family. A grandmaster asked suspiciously. The other martial artists who participated in the auction were also curious. The reason why there were not many big families in the Demon Sea Great Base was because of the control of the high-level Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique. The intermediate Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique is basically the same, and many people have it. But there are many kinds of advanced Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Techniques, and each one is different, because the advanced Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique is very complex and involves many aspects. A high-level Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique is enough to transform a small family into a big family. Because of this, the high-level Yuan Force Forging Body Secret Technique is very precious, and the starting price of 30 billion is too low, so low that people don't even want to believe that it's true. Seeing that many people were questioning, the auctioneer explained, everyone, this high-level Yuanli forging secret technique is naturally true, but it can't be spread, because it is recorded with inheritance beads, and the soul formation is arranged in it. If you want to learn this high-level Yuanli forging secret technique, you must make an oath and can only practice by yourself, so the value is greatly reduced, and the starting price of 30 billion is the result of our Martial Pavilion's discussion. I see. Many people suddenly realized and were no longer interested. Many of the people present are members of the big forces, and they have channels to learn the secret art of advanced Yuan Force Forging Body. Although they have also made an oath not to teach, they can learn it for free. However, this purple blood body forging technique costs so much money, so they were naturally not happy. But the lonely people like Yi Tian were very excited, and they all set their eyes on the purple blood body forging technique, and there were many grandmaster level martial artists. It seems that the competition is not small. Yi Tian saw the eyes of many people and thought secretly. But he was bound to win the purple blood body forging technique, and in terms of financial resources, he believed that ordinary grandmasters could not compare to him at all. Purple blood body forging technique, super base, Zhanghai super base. It turns out that there is really a bigger base on top of the big base. Yi Tian was very interested in the so-called super base. He even had a doubt. How did the so-called Yuan Force Forging Body method and the advanced Yuan Force Forging Body secret technique come out? Originally, he thought it was made by the big base, but after coming to the big base, he realized that the big base had no ability to create the Yuan Force Forging technique. Maybe these Yuan Force Forging techniques were all made by the super base. It's a pity that his status is not enough, and even the Zhanghai super base only knows one name, and nothing else. How big has Huasha become now? How many big bases are there? How many super bases are there? And how big is the whole Earth? Questions appeared in Yi Tian's mind, and these questions were waiting for him to find answers in the future. 35 billion, 38 billion, 40 billion. The people who bid for the purple blood forging technique are all grandmasters, and there are many ways for grandmasters to make money. Relying on time to accumulate wealth that is unimaginable for great martial artists, tens of billions is nothing. Moreover, there were not many opportunities to obtain the high-level Yuan Force Forging Body secret technique, and some grandmasters were unwilling to pledge allegiance to the big forces, so they were unwilling to give up the opportunity at hand. 80 billion. An astonishing bid was offered. At this time, there were few people bidding, and the bidding price was really too high. A grandmaster's net worth is indeed not cheap, but a grandmaster also needs a lot of resources to cultivate, and the grandmasters who can have 100 billion assets are all those top grandmasters. These top grandmasters basically have high-level yuanli forging body secret techniques, and the grandmasters who want to buy high-level yuanli forging body secret techniques are basically ordinary grandmasters, and their financial resources cannot be very rich. Therefore, after the bidding price reached 80 billion, they were unable to bid. At this time, Yi Tian made a bid. 100 billion, a price that made other grandmasters completely desperate, was reported by Yi Tian. Swish! The eyes of many martial artists converged on Yi Tian's body. It was he who spent 11 billion to buy a king-level cultivation experience, and now he has spent another 100 billion to buy a high-level yuan force forging body secret technique. How much wealth does he have? Many grandmasters said jealously. Could it be the son of a big family? Someone whispered, it's possible. People who can take out more than 100 billion at a young age, maybe it's the descendants of a king. I really envy these rich second generations, they were born with countless resources to squander. How can it be like we all have to rely on our own lives, said a grandmaster. If they knew Yi Tian's true identity, instead of the so-called children of the big family, they would definitely be shocked. 100 billion is not a small amount, and the other grandmasters looked left and right, and reluctantly withdrew from the auction. So far, Yi Tian bid for the purple blood body forging technique, an advanced yuan force body forging secret technique, at a high price of 100 billion, and the purpose of participating in the auction this time can be regarded as complete. But the auction is not over yet, and although the purple blood body forging technique is very precious, it is not a finale item. Soon, the real Kui Bao came into play. Dragon blood vine juice, the treasure that can increase the impact of the great martial artist on the realm of the Grandmaster. The starting price is 10 billion. The auctioneer shouted. In an instant, many great martial artists looked at a small bottle of red juice on the auction table. Yellow treasure. Yi Tian opened the treasure hunting talent, and when he saw the yellow light emitted by the dragon's blood vine juice, he judged that the treasure level of this bottle of dragon's blood vine juice belonged to the yellow level. And from the talk of the people around him, he also knew the usefulness of dragon blood vine juice. It is a kind of juice born from the dragon blood vine, which can help the great martial artist refine the meridians, and the Grandmaster realm is the process of refining the meridians. So, if a great martial artist wants to impact the realm of the Grandmaster, he can use the dragon's blood vine juice. It is very easy for top-level cultivators to be able to refine the meridians successfully and step into the realm of Grandmasters. But it is more difficult for high-level cultivators. It is difficult for them to refine the meridians, and the success rate is too low. Once the impact meridians fail and the meridians are damaged, even if they are repaired, the foundation is damaged, and it will be difficult to step into the Grandmaster level for the rest of their lives. This is also the helplessness of high-level cultivators. But with the dragon blood vine juice, it is different. It can increase the chance of breakthrough by at least 30%, which is simply a blessing for the great martial artists of high-level cultivation talents. Besides, among the Grandmasters present, who didn't have a descendant of a high-level cultivation talent. Cultivation treasures are the most precious in this era, and the so-called cheats, weapons, and experience are not as precious as cultivation treasures, especially this kind of treasure that can help break the bottleneck. The price is even more outrageous. In the midst of everyone's bidding, the dragon blood vine juice was auctioned to a high price of 60 billion and was auctioned away by a Grandmaster. Next, treasures similar to dragon's blood vine juice appeared one by one, making the auction hall completely boil. However, Yi Tian didn't make any more moves. These things were useless to him. Suddenly, a treasure appeared on the auction table. Yi Tian used the treasure hunting talent to investigate, but failed. Obviously, Wu Zhe isolated any means of exploration. The treasure hunting talent is not omnipotent. For example, he wants to explore the treasure house of the Wu Pavilion, but he can't snoop on it, and he is also isolated from any means of exploration. Otherwise the secret of the Wu Pavilion would have been exposed a long time ago, and how would they do business? The auctioneer pointed to the covered treasure and said, "This auction item is a bit special. Even our Wuj can't identify it, but because it was sent by someone else, it was taken out for auction, and the price was preliminarily set at 1 billion. As soon as these words came out, all the warriors were curious. Yi Tian's expression moved, and he was also very curious about what this treasure was. Chapter 88. What kind of treasure is it, so mysterious? Someone couldn't help but ask. The auctioneer lifted the cloth to reveal a box. The box was probably more than 1 person tall, and it was covered with formations, which were obviously arranged in formations. The auctioneer opened the box, and a huge egg appeared. This egg was golden all over, with the throbbing of life, proving that it was an egg and definitely not gold. Beast eggs? Someone asked in confusion. But can a fierce beast egg be used so mysteriously? It can't be identified. It's too strange. It's an egg, but we didn't sense the breath of a fierce beast. Any fierce beast has the breath of a fierce beast, but this egg doesn't. The auctioneer introduced. What's even more surprising is that this egg is very strong. Even a grandmaster-level powerhouse can't break the eggshell of this egg, and the divine thoughts of a king-level powerhouse can't penetrate the eggshell and observe the inside of the egg. If it weren't for the fact that this egg was sent by someone else, we would have tried everything we could to open the eggshell. Since it is impossible to identify and we do not know the method of incubation, it is impossible to give any guarantee to those who participate in the auction. Therefore, although this egg may be very precious, it only starts at 1 billion. Could it be the egg of some powerful creature, and once it is conceived, won't it make a lot of money? Someone exclaimed, "Oh, maybe it's just a metal with the breath of life?" Anything is possible. If you can't hatch an egg, it's just an ornament. HMPH, no matter what, its value is definitely not ordinary. It's only a starting price of 1 billion. Hee, let's bid on it. One by one, warriors began to bid, starting from 1 billion and rising continuously. And Yi Tian kept staring at this egg. His eyes were full of wonder. With the talent of treasure hunting, the egg was full of golden radiance, as if it was a gift from the gods. It was nothing ordinary. Copy the talent. Yi Tian tried to use the copy talent to probe. If it was a fierce beast egg, maybe the copy talent could detect its talent, and then he could judge the origin of this egg. He thought it wouldn't have an effect, but a line of information appeared on his retina that proved it was really an egg, and the name was very domineering. Species: Bloody Dragon. Bloodline talent. Strength talents. Flying talents. Speed talent. Defense talent. A series of talents completely stunned Yi Tian. This was definitely the most talented beast he had ever seen. No, maybe it shouldn't be called a beast, but a dragon. This is the legendary dragon egg. These uninformed guys actually took it out for auction, Yi Tian said with contempt. However, he didn't want to think about it. If he didn't have the talent for copying, would he be able to see the origin of this egg? For this problem, Yi Tian automatically ignored it. Strange, how can you not see the talent level? Is it because it is too high? Yi Tian asked himself, but he vetoed this idea in a blink of an eye. So many talents, there is no situation where you can't see the level at all. If these talents really exceed the limit of copying talents, then how far does this battle blood dragon have to defy the sky, with a sneeze to destroy the earth? According to Yi Tian's speculation, there is only one possibility, that is, the battle blood heavenly dragon has not been completely conceived, and the talent has not been completely formed. Only when it is born, the talent will be finalized, which is also the criterion that all creatures must follow. It must be bought. A dragon with unlimited potential, much more powerful than Xiaojin and Xiaozi Niu. In the future, I plan to give Xiaojin and Xiaozi to my sister as pets. I naturally have to use a pet with unlimited potential, and this dragon is good, and it can fly. How domineering it will be to ride a dragon in the future. Yi Tian fell in love with this dragon egg and participated in the auction in a hurry. Although the price of dragon eggs was not low, it soon rose to 10 billion, but there were many rich bigwigs, and they didn't care about this money at all. 20 billion, 30 billion, 40 billion, 50 billion. In the end, it was undoubtedly not the top grandmaster who participated in the auction. Only Yi Tian, a great martial artist, was sandwiched between them, which was really a bit weird. 80 billion. Yi Tian called out a desperate price, and some of the grandmasters frowned, calculating whether the bidding value was worth it. They had other treasures to bid on, and the real goal was not this dragon egg. If they spent too much money on the dragon egg, resulting in not being able to bid for the treasure they wanted later, it would be a big loss. As a result, the other grandmasters all gave up the bidding, and this dragon egg was won by Yi Tian. In the auction of other treasures, Yi Tian did not participate. It's not that the money isn't enough, but those treasures were of little use to him. They were basically treasures that assisted the Grandmaster's cultivation. And the last finale item was a treasure that could improve the Grandmaster's impact on the king level. Although it could only increase the probability by 0.5%, it was also auctioned at a high price of 1,000 billion, which made everyone stunned. At the end of the auction, Yi Tian took the treasures he had won, paid the money, turned around, and left. After leaving the Wuge headquarters, several people were interested in his identity and secretly followed him. However, Yi Tian had already discovered their existence through spatial perception, so he arrived in a no-man's corner, teleported away, and got rid of these people. Back home, Yi Tian took out the treasures from the auction. The most precious thing was undoubtedly the dragon egg, but after studying it for a while, nothing came out, so it was thrown aside, and it will be studied slowly in the future. King-level cultivation experience. Yi Tian took it out very preciously, flipped through it, and slowly browsed it. This cultivation heart was very thick, and the material was very tough, obviously the skin of a top-level fierce beast. This experience started from the martial apprentice and went all the way to the king level, and the precautions for each realm were clearly explained. There were also many ways to assist in cultivation or assist in impacting bottlenecks. But what interested Yi Tian the most were the precautions for impacting the Grandmaster realm and impacting the king-level realm. The impact Grandmaster needs to cultivate to reach the limit of a great martial artist, and the more solid the foundation, the higher the success rate of the breakthrough. If the foundation is not stable, even if the cultivation talent reaches the transcendent level, it is easy to become a Grandmaster, but hitting the king level will reduce the success rate. The transcendental level impact king level should have been 100% successful, but almost all the transcendental level cultivators have no way to forge a perfect foundation, so the impact success rate is only 80%, and the imperfect foundation will hinder the impact on a higher realm in the future. Yi Tian looked at this passage and was completely stunned. Even the transcendent level can't forge a perfect foundation? What's the situation? He continued to look through it and finally found the content that made the perfect foundation. If you want to cast a perfect foundation, you must go before the Grandmaster realm. Once you reach the Grandmaster realm, the embryo of the foundation will be formed. If it is a perfect foundation embryo, there is no way to cast a perfect foundation in the future. Pushing the limits? It was the first time Yi Tian had heard this kind of statement, but as a king-level Hurricane King, he obviously wouldn't talk nonsense, and it must have a foundation. Then, Yi Tian began to be glad that he had seen this cultivation experience. If he hadn't seen it, he might soon have hit the Grandmaster realm, resulting in an incomplete foundation, in which case he would definitely regret it for life.